Top 5 deadly women who killed their partners. True crime cases.
Welcome back to Suada's Crime Files. I'm your host, SuadaConzonire. I'm joined today by my friend Raven. Raven and I met a few years back at a business conference and instantly clicked. We've been friends since. Today we're diving into a dark but fascinating topic. 5 deadly women from the last 2 decades or so who killed their boyfriends or husbands.
It's going to be a mix of shocking details, red flags we can all learn from, and where these women are now. Some of these cases are still making headlines today.
So grab your coffee, maybe a blanket, because this one is going to make you side-eye your dating history. Let's get into it.
Let's start with Shayna Hubers. This one happened in 2012 in Highland Heights, Kentucky. Shayna was dating Ryan Poston, a 29-year-old lawyer. On the surface, they seemed like a good-looking couple with bright futures, but behind the scenes, it was chaos.
Yeah, the relationship was toxic from the jump. Friends said Shayna was obsessive, controlling, and extremely jealous. There were constant fights, breakups, and makeups. Ryan reportedly told friends he was scared to end things because she might hurt herself or him.
And here's the chilling part. On October 12, 2012, Ryan was supposed to go on a date with Miss Ohio Audrey Bolt. Shayna found out, went to his condo, and during an argument, she shot him 6 times.
Her story to the police? She claimed it was self-defense and even made bizarre jokes during interrogation, saying she gave him the nose job he always wanted after shooting him in the face.
Red flags? Plenty. Obsessive behavior, showing up uninvited, not respecting boundaries. Ryan even tried to end the relationship multiple times.
She was convicted in 2015, sentenced to 40 years. In 2016, a retrial was granted after it was discovered that one of the jurors in the first trial had a prior felony conviction, making them ineligible to serve. In her 2018 retrial, Shayna was again found guilty, this time sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 20 years. Shayna is still in prison today, eligible for parole in 2032.
Moving to Oklahoma, the tragic case of Amber Hilberling in 2011. Amber was 19, 7 months pregnant, and married to 23-year-old Joshua Hilberling.
They had a rocky relationship. Neighbors reported hearing arguments, and both families admitted there was physical and emotional abuse on both sides.
On June 7, 2011, during a heated fight in their high-rise apartment in Tulsa, Amber pushed Josh, and he fell out the 25th floor window to his death. She claimed it was an accident, saying she pushed him away during an argument.
The jury didn't buy it as a pure accident. They convicted her of second-degree murder, and she was sentenced to 25 years.
Sadly, Amber died by suicide in prison in 2016 at the age of 25. This case sparked debates about domestic violence dynamics and whether her sentence was too harsh.
The red flags here? Intense volatility, mutual abuse, and a dangerous living environment. Literally a high-rise with no margin for violent fights.
Now, the queen of deadly, Jodi Arias. This case still fascinates true crime followers. In 2008, she killed her ex-boyfriend, Travis Alexander, in Mesa, Arizona.
Their relationship was a roller coaster. Jodi was known to be possessive and jealous. Travis confided to friends that she was stalking him, breaking into his Facebook, showing up unannounced, even sneaking into his house through the doggy door.
Travis Alexander's body was discovered on June 9, 2008. His friends, concerned after being unable to reach him, went to his home and found large pools of blood leading to his body in the shower. Investigators later determined he had been murdered on June 4, 2008, 5 days before his body was found. Stabbed 27 times, his throat slit ear to ear, and shot in the head. Jodi changed her story multiple times, first claiming she wasn't there, then saying masked intruders did it, and finally admitting she killed him but claiming self-defense.
The trial was pure media frenzy. In 2013, she was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life without parole.
A true sociopath. Very dangerous killer. They should lock her up under the prison and lose the key. Red flags, obsessive stalking, ignoring breakup boundaries, escalating behavior from emotional control to physical harm.
Jodi is still in Perryville Prison in Arizona, occasionally making headlines for filing appeals.
This one is older, but still worth mentioning because of how shocking it was. In 2002 in Houston, Texas, dentist Clara Harris discovered her husband David was cheating on her with a receptionist from their dental practice.
She hired a private investigator who caught David with his mistress at a hotel. In a fit of rage, Clara confronted them, then ran David over in the parking lot, not once, but multiple times.
The case was massive because of the raw, emotional nature of the crime. Clara claimed it was an accident, but witnesses said she was in complete control of the vehicle.
She was convicted of murder in 2003 and sentenced to 20 years.
Clara was released in 2018 after serving 15 years. She's kept a low profile since then.
The red flags? A marriage already under strain, infidelity, and an emotional personality prone to impulsive decisions.
And finally, one of the most recent, Kouri Richins from Utah. In 2022, she was accused of poisoning her husband Eric with a lethal dose of fentanyl.
The case blew up in 2023 because Kouri had written and published a children's book about grief, supposedly to help her kids deal with losing their father.
Prosecutors allege she had been researching fentanyl online, buying large amounts from an acquaintance, and that she was motivated by life insurance money.
The red flags? Suspicious financial activity, unusual internet searches, and a sudden life insurance policy change in her favor.
She's still awaiting trial as of now, but if convicted, she's facing life in prison.
So, Raven, looking at these 5 cases, it's clear there were always red flags. Whether it was obsessive behavior, domestic violence, or financial motives, these weren't out of the blue.
Exactly. And for listeners, if you spot some of these behaviors in your own life, take them seriously. They can escalate in ways you'd never imagine.
That's it for today's episode of Suada's Crime Files. Thank you, Raven, for joining me today on my podcast. I hope you come back in the near future.
You're welcome, Suada. My pleasure. Come back? Sure, I'd love that.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of Suada's Crime Files. If you found today's story gripping, please subscribe, rate, share the show, and turn on the notification bell so you're notified whenever a new episode is published. Type SuadaConzonire in the search bar. Subscribe to my newsletter at SuadaConzonire.com for early access to new episodes. Also, true crime stories are delivered straight to your inbox. It's absolutely free to subscribe and takes about 20 seconds. See you in your inbox. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe.